Hey guys, this is my Berserker Succession PvP guide. In this, we'll be talking about movement, PvP combos, skill overview, different add-ons that you can choose, and pretty much just everything about Berserker Succession PvP. I may come out with a guide for PvE in the future, um, but it's pretty straightforward, so we're going to be talking about just PvP in this video. PvP on Berserker Succession is a pretty controversial topic. Many people think that it's just the flat-out worst PvP class, but I enjoy it, and I'm just here to share what I know and some tips for you guys. There will be a Google document attached in the description of the video, so if you'd like to follow along with that instead, I would recommend you do so. If you'd like to follow along with both document and the video simultaneously, that's also fine. But that's pretty much what I will be using as a guide for this video. So if you want to, you can check that out as well. So let's get right into the skill overview. Berserker Succession has 13 main skills that we will be going over, first of which is Prime Beast Form. This is the siege buff of Succession. It is super armor while using the skill, and it is also super armor during feral attacks. And feral attacks are from Fierce Strike, Beastly Wind Slash, and Predatory Hunt. So this is what it looks like. Pretty much just turn into a big giant looking thing. So your feral attacks are after 3 hits of Fierce Strike, and this is all super armor. This is Beastly Wind Slash, and it is holding F after Predatory Hunt, like that. This is pretty useful in PvP, as it gives DP and resistance, and movement speed. The HP recovery and WP recovery are also very nice. So you pretty much want to use this whenever you're engaging in PvP. The next skill that we'll be going over is Fierce Strike. It is a floating on the last hit with no protection, and it is useful for the minus 15 DP debuff that you can see. And it can be used in quick succession after Frenzy Destroyer, which is going to be something that we'll be using in many of our combos. Just like that. That is also part of the final strike, but we'll be going over that later. Next is Frenzy Destroyer. Has no CC and no protection, but it is used in nearly every combo. The melee AP plus 16 is extremely useful, and this skill does a ton of damage. It can also precede many skills such as Fierce Strike, Beastly Wind Slash, and Devastation. Stuff like this, which I just showed. Can also flow directly into Beastly Wind Slash, as well as Devastation and Ancient Wave. The next skill we will be going over is Beastly Wind Slash. It is a air smash and down smash with no protection, and it is very useful for the plus 20% movement speed. It can also be used as a down smash in most combos, so it can be followed up after Frenzy Destroyer, and that applies a down smash. It does good damage, but it is also very hard to control. As you can see, it doesn't really have an order to it. It kind of just goes wherever your camera goes. So it's not extremely useful, but it is useful for the last hit after like Frenzy Destroyer. Next skill is Tackling Rock. This doesn't have much use in the form of damage, but it is good for movement. It has a knockback on charged hits, and it is a forward guard while charging and at the start of the skill. It is the main form of movement besides crab walking, which is this. It can be used as a catch, but it is not really recommended. Next is Prime Raging Thunder. This is a very high damage skill, mostly used in PvE, but it can be used as a finisher in PvP. It has a knockdown on the last good hit. It also has the lateral evade, which we will be talking about later in the video. It has no protection, and it is the 200% of the kit. The 200% is super armor, has a knockdown and a stun, and has a extremely large AoE. So that is very useful in Node Wars and Siege if you can get someone to feed you their Black Spirit Rage. Next is Fearsome Tyrant. This is super armor at the start of the skill. No CC except for on the 100%, which is a super armor and a stun. The regular skill is super armor at the start of skill, like I said, and it is not very useful in PvP outside of the 100% and the heal. Next is Storming Beast. You can pretty much choose between Prime Storming Beast and regular Storming Beast, Absolute. This version of Storming Beast is faster, but it does less damage, and overall, I just choose to go with Prime Storming Beast. It is a stiffness, no protection, and it can be used after many skills like Frenzy Destroyer. And overall, it's just a good catch for the stiffness. Next is Predatory Hunt. It is a bound super armor and very useful for mobility. It can be used after Lava Piercer, straight after Lava Piercer, and that increases its range, but you can only use it once instead of the normal 4 times. Next will be Ancient Wave. Come back to these. Ancient Wave is a forward guard while charging, knockdown, and it takes a very long time to use by itself, but it can be used, like I showed earlier, after Frenzy Destroyer. It can also be used after Fierce Strike and Storming Beast. It is pretty high damage. It's a good catch if you can land it, but outside of using it after Frenzy Destroyer or Fierce Strike or Storming Beast, it's not very useful. Next is Devastation. It is super armor, no CC in PvP. It is a down attack, which is pretty useful. And it is also useful for the slowing effects. This can also be used right after Frenzy Destroyer and Fierce Strike, like so. It has a pretty large AoE, and it is faster than Awakening or Devastation. And now we will be talking about Final Strike. This is pretty much just an add-on to, as it says, strengthens or adds to some of your skills. This is forward guard for Prime Fearsome Tyrant and Predatory Hunt. It's right click after Frenzy Destroyer, left click after Predatory Hunt, and left click after Fearsome Tyrant. And it is also Ultimate Beastly Windslash after Prime Beastly Windslash. Well, I will be showing you those. So that last kind of slow motion part, that is Final Strike. After Frenzy Destroyer, right click, that last looking Fierce Strike part, that is the Final Strike. And after Predatory Hunt, it is F, or left click, my bad. So that is that little slam that you see. Kind of looks like the last part, kind of like that, of left click. And those just do more damage, and they can apply different CCs. So those are very useful in PvP. Alright, these are my personal skill add-ons. These are very customizable, and you pretty much just pick and choose what you want. I chose to go for attack against monsters plus 20 on Beastly Windslash, because I use that a lot in PvE. The rest are mostly PvP add-ons. PvP attack, accuracy, PvP attack speed, accuracy, crit rate. It really just depends what you want and which skills you use the most. I would highly recommend some sort of skill add-on on SmackDown, just because that's your main grab and you'll be using that a lot in combos. Frenzy Destroyer is also a main skill in combos, so I would recommend some sort of add-ons for that. I chose attack speed on SmackDown. Attack speed is very big for all classes, and crit rate is good specifically on Berserker, just because he benefits a lot from it. The recovers 10 HP per hit on Raging Thunder is mostly for PvE, but it is also somewhat useful in PvP. The rest, again, you pretty much just pick and choose. The skill add-ons for Fear Strike also apply when you use it after Frenzy Destroyer, like so. So if you do this, that last hit of Fear Strike also procs these skill add-ons. And you often use that towards the end of your combos, so movement speed -10 is good. Since if the target lives your combo, then they'll be slowed, so you can re-engage afterwards. And yeah. Once again, just pick and choose what you want. There's no real best answer for these. It's pretty much just preference. Next, we will be talking about the movement of Succession. The movement really revolves around both of your Lava Piercers. After Lava Piercer, you can go straight into Tackling Rock, and that is unprotected, but it is very quick movement. You can also go into Predatory Hunt as such, and that is the extended range that I was talking about. You can also go into Tackling Rock like this. You can get 2 charges off. You can also, let me put on the display. You can also start sprinting and then go straight into Tackling Rock. This is not as fast as the Lava Piercers, but it is still useful. You can also just hold this down. It does consume stam, but and you can also not use it after a certain point of stamina loss. Outside of PvP, there is the Crab Walk, which is Headbutt, Storming Beast into Evasion, and then repeat. Will want Ultimate Evasion. This is very useful. Different aspects of PvP and just movement. Beastly Windslash should be used intermittently, just for the plus 20% movement speed. This speeds up your Lava Piercers. And after every skill, you can press space to go right into Prime Lava Piercer. Another important note is that Prime Lava Piercer is a much shorter distance than regular Lava Piercer. That was regular Lava Piercer. This is Prime Lava Piercer. So you want to be using your skills much earlier when you're using Prime Lava Piercer. Because if you're used to just Lava Piercing for a long distance and then going into Tackling Rock, you'll probably do something along the lines of this, and that leaves you open to CC. So yeah, the Crab Walk takes practice, but the rest is pretty straightforward, and it's pretty customizable. Just you can use Tackling Rock to reposition, you can use Predatory Hunt as an N-gage. It has a bunch of variability. The next thing we'll be talking about is N-gages and catches. These are mostly used in 1v1s, but they can also be used in 1vx. most of your end gauges will revolve around your lava piercers, just because they are your most effective form of movement. The most practical end gauge is just lava piercer straight into smackdown. That's shift space into E. You can also reposition yourself in lava piercer with shake off and evasion. This is shake off. Shake off after either of your lava piercers becomes iframe, and evasion becomes super armor. So these are very effective in repositioning yourself, and I would highly recommend getting used to using these right after lava piercer, just to reposition for a better chance at landing the smackdown. Next is predatory hunt. This can be used either dry, and this has the chance, well, technically 4 chances, or 3 to apply a bound effect. These are kind of hard to follow up on in terms of combos, but it is very effective. You can also use this, as shown before, right after lava piercer to get the added range, but you can't do any more jumps after that first one. You can also use Raging Thunder right after lava piercer as a catch, and this applies a knockdown on the last hit. I would recommend using Raging Thunder a bit before you get to your target, just because it is the only the last hit applies the knockdown effect. So if you were to start Raging Thunder right as you got to your target, you win the CC because it's just the last hit. While Raging Thunder is on cooldown, you cannot do lateral evasion. As soon as it comes off cooldown you can, but let's see here. There is no lateral evasion, which we'll be talking about next. The next one is lateral evasion of Raging Thunder. So as you can see, it is directional key plus left click, right click, and this can be used after many things, not just shake off as it says. If you are using it after shake off, just use a directional key, A or D, and then right click or shake off, and then you just hold left click. Now this is spammable, and every time it does apply the knockdown effect, but this is unprotected. This is good in landing knockdowns on multiple people though. You can also use this straight into Storming Beast. That is a stiffness, so that's good to use in catching multiple people as well, or just one if need be. Raging Thunder lateral evasion can also be used after Beastly Windslash, so can also be used after Ultimate Evasion. And again, these can be strung into Storming Beast for the stiffness. Again, this is all unprotected, but it is very useful. And I mean, you CC the person first, there's no chance they can CC you. And it also does have some mobility to it, so it is kind of hard for people to catch you out of it, but it is punishable. The next portion of the video will be the combo section. These are pretty customizable, just like most other classes in the game. As long as you know the CC values of your target. There is an explanation of the CC system in the Google document, as well as all of the combos listed out. So if you'd like to check that out and follow along with the combos in the Google document, I would highly recommend that. The explanation of the CC system in this game is pretty rough, so if you don't understand it, I would recommend, looking up another video or another thing on Google. You could just Google it. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. But yeah, I'm just going to display all the combos and the skill inputs for all of the combos, and yeah, I'm just gonna let those run through, and you can pick and choose which ones you guys like. The following are more advanced combos. These are not as practical, and they're more stylish. So I would not use these if you're just in open world PvP. But they are pretty cool, and if you're trying to impress someone, then go for it. The next topic is Disengages. This will be the final topic for the PvP video. And Disengages are pretty much just reliant on what cooldowns you have left over. They closely tie in with the previous part of the video, which is the movement part. Very good disengage is Lava Piercer into Predatory Hunt, just because that can skip right over your target. Other disengages could be Lava Piercer into Tackling Rock, but again, this does not skip over your target. So if you're trying to get away, you have to kind of aim it away from people, like so. If neither of your Lava Piercers are up, you can use Tackling Rock when sprinting, like mentioned earlier. So you just got done with combo, just like so. So this is easily punishable, and is not very fast. And if nothing else, just crab walk away. So this is pretty fast, but this is also unprotected and punishable. That is pretty much it for the guide. I will be releasing more content in the future, as well as a personal progression guide in terms of my gear, my level, everything else. So stay tuned for that, as well as the PvE guide in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you need to revisit anything, again, the Google document will be in the description of the video. And thanks for watching.